Okay, it's been at least 6 months since I last did a tie-dye, and this is the first video since the status update that I posted on November 11th about the medical issues. If you don't know what that is and you're interested, go back and look at the video titled Status Update, and that was November 11th of 2018. Okay, I don't plan on editing out any weird speech issues, so we'll just go from here. As usual, this has been soaked in soda ash for at least 20 minutes. It's been spun in the washing machine until it's damp. And since this is going to be a ice dye, it needs to be flipped inside out. If you can see the stains on there, that's from sitting in a bucket of soda ash and drying over the last 6 months. So it'll be fine once it's washed out. So we flip it inside out and get that the center as much as possible. Mark the center point of the shirt. Flip this to the bottom, pinch under the armpits, and give it a good shake. Take the two endpoints, fold that together, and you'll get that little center point right there for the bottom. And then we know where to fold. So grab those two marks. Take your hand through one armhole, pull the other back through, line up the seam, and then just make sure that that's flat. Shake that a couple of times, flatten it, make sure that everything can be flattened out. And then we go back, flip this again, grab this back corner here and where the tag is, pull those to that midline as much as possible, and shake that, and then flatten it out. Okay, so this is a design that I thought of yesterday when I was thinking I might try to do a video today. So we're going to see how this goes. So this I need as straight as possible because I'm going to measure off of that. So what I'm going to do is mark 1 inch, 3, and then I'm just going to add an inch every time. And since I don't want to math this morning, I'll just cheat and move it along. And then the same thing needs to be for the back side. We're not going to do that. Sorry, not the same thing. I'm going to start 2 inches up, and then add 2 inches each time. So this will become 4, this will become 6, this is 8, we'll come way out here, and then it'll go to the top. Right, after I've done that, I'm going to draw a line. Again, I came up with this yesterday. I've not tested this idea, so we'll see how this goes. Ruler doesn't quite reach that one. Try to make do. There we go. And then this one, let's see, what were we at here? We were at 8 there, so this would be 10. So I'm actually going to mark off the table. Just a little mark. Not sure if that's on the camera. Just so that I can get the correct angle for this, or something reasonably close. Do that. And then I'm actually just going to eyeball it for this. And then go ahead and do this one too. I'm not sure if I'll do this top part a different color or just leave it. Okay, so these are the connection points where I'm going to fold to. And I might want to actually flip this around just to make it easier to fold. Although I normally don't fold away from the center point. So I think I am going to ignore this one because it's such a minor piece. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. Go ahead and tie this off with some sinew. I forgot scissors. Okay, so let's tie this. Okay, so those folds are most likely not going to line up very well, so I'm actually going to back those off and just do it from scratch. And I'm thinking about doing a ceiling mount for the camera to hopefully get better views of some of this, because I think a lot of this is missing from this angle. So if you want to comment and give your opinion if you think that would help on the videos, just let me know. Alright, so that's done. Touch that up a little as far as the alignment. I'll give a bit of extra in between these. Okay, and we'll go to the next. Leave a gap. pull that taut. Okay. And the closer it gets, the harder it's going to be to start from scratch as far as the accordion goes. Right, so that's lined up. Okay. It slipped more than I thought. It should be okay. Alright, and the last one. Okay, so we've got that done. I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. And cut this one down. And I'll tie it back on itself first, just to be sure. Then I need to keep this part a little bit, so just use a rubber band here on the end, and I'll do the same thing on the other end. Now for these other sections, I was thinking I didn't want it bowed like this, so I could either do this, which makes it more difficult to work with, or I was actually going to form it into a peak like that. And add a rubber band or sinew. I'm not sure which direction to go. The other was to push it and then loop it like that. But I think I'll go with this and just do rubber bands. isn't one there. And try to touch that up a little bit. You're changing the spacing by not following after each one, so that comes into play when you get here. So I think I'll just pull this back, and that probably should have been tied onto itself with the sinew. Since there's that should have been the other one, so I'm actually going to come back and add sinew here. To fix this part. There we go. We'll just cut that off. Basically looking right now at how I want to do this. You know what? I think I am going to curl it, and then I'm just going to put cardboard in between it. And we'll go with that and see how that works out. Because if you curl it up, it takes care of all of those all the way around. So I'll end up doing a cardboard liner in between, or aluminum foil or something, so that the dye doesn't transfer. Alright, so I'm going to do it like this. And we're going off to dye. I went ahead and went with just a cardboard spiral to hold it together. I think it'll be okay. I haven't decided on the second side, but for the first side I'm just going to do rainbow. So Chinese red, deep orange, lemon yellow, bright green, turquoise, lilac, which is the closest thing I have to indigo, and deep purple. Alright, I'll let this sit until this melts through. Now this is the 28th of December, and 2 days ago it was what, like 80 degrees here for whatever reason, and today it's, I don't know, freezing outside, 30 to 36, somewhere in that temperature, with a high of the 40s. So I should have done this a couple of days ago so I could just set it out, but now it's going to go into the garage and have the heater turned on, which will probably work better. Keep it 90-ish degrees, and that should help with the saturation of the colors, especially this time of year. So I'll go ahead and get that started, let it melt through, and then we'll do the back side. So everything is melted through. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. Push that down a little. And I think I'm just going to go with two colors, burgundy and oxblood red, and it'll just be somewhat random where everything's placed. No! Alright, I added some black down the center. We'll let the ice melt all the way through and let it sit for about 24 hours after that finishes under a heater so that the dye sets properly. And then we'll do the washout. It's been over 24 hours, so it's time to do the washout. Alright, let's take a quick look before I put it in the washing machine. So we'll see how that turns out in a few minutes.